So we can go ahead and call to order then. Jenny, could you do the roll call, please?
Bentley?
Here.
Motts? Here. Carcinogen?
Here.
Reed?
Here.
Otis?
Here.
And Delaney is here. Almost. She's sideways and needs unmuted. There we go.
Sorry, I apologize for that. My computer decided to do an update just as I went to log in.
It was fun to see you join Sideways. So next on the agenda is an introduction of Nick Otis. So welcome, Nick. It's nice to meet you. Do you want to just introduce yourself and let us know who you are? And
Sure. I'm Nick Otis. I've lived in Polk City since 2015. I'm an influenza researcher for the Department of Agriculture. And yeah, I coach soccer. I don't know. I'm happy to take questions, I guess.
does anyone have any questions for Nick?
No, but welcome, Nick. Looking forward to working with you.
Welcome. Could I get a motion to approve the minutes from November, please?
I motion to approve.
Delaney.
Second. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anyone? Anyone opposed? Okay. Are there any audience items tonight?
No, there's not.
Okay. So then is the next, sorry, pull my agenda back up. I think the next item is the presentation by Eric Dahl. So is there any preface to that someone wants to give an intro quick and then Eric can go, or just shoot to Eric?
Well, I can give just a quick intro. Eric is the landscape architect that we've worked with for at least a year on community visioning. He's been a real help to us and has helped really guide our whole process. And so I'm happy to welcome him to our meeting. Hi, Eric.
Good evening. Thanks for having me. Can everyone hear me okay?
Yes.
Great. So really, I don't have a formal presentation. More than anything, this is kind of our way of, I guess, introducing ourselves above and beyond the community visioning process, which I'm hoping that a lot of you are familiar with. Really, it's kind of a conceptual level design, big picture, really considering everything that kind of makes up a community. And as I understand and have learned so much about Polk City, it's really become a keen interest in our firm to follow through and follow up and continue to develop a relationship with Polk City, and especially the Parks and Recreation Department, being that it's a bit newer and all things considered there. So yeah, really, I'm born and raised in Des Moines. I'll just take a few minutes to kind of introduce myself. I know a lot of you, but not everyone here. And I've seen some faces maybe at some meetings here and there, so forgive me if I don't know names. I see them here. But yeah, I went to Iowa State University. I've been practicing for over 8 years. And we've been doing the community visioning thing for, well, I've been doing it for almost a decade. I started out as an intern. I'm licensed to practice. We work a lot with some local municipalities here in the metro, West Des Moines, City of Urbandale, City of Des Moines, Ankeny. And so I really feel like we could bring a lot of value should some projects arise in the planning phase. I'm sure a lot of you know we propose to try to work with the city here for the Regional Park Master Plan. And I totally understand and appreciate Jason. You provided a lot of insight and value to let us know kind of what you guys were looking for. And I'm excited to follow through and see how that project turns out. And, you know, I just want to make you all aware that we are a resource to you. And if there's ever an opportunity where you need some additional development, if there's a grant you're looking to pursue, don't hesitate to reach out to us. We can do a lot. We can tweak a graphic here or there, or revise a cost estimate in fairly short order at no cost to you, right? Our hope is that you utilize us as a resource to improve your community, and in return, we can continue to work for you. I mean, obviously we have a business to run here, but we see it more of as a relationship to help each other out and improve everyone's lives. So that's really all I have. I just wanted to let you all know that we're here, and we probably won't go away. If anything, I'll continue to bug Steve, so at least you're all safe there. But yeah, I'll just, if you have questions for me now, I'd be more than happy to discuss more, but otherwise I'll just kind of tune in and looking forward to hear the discussion. And in the future, I'll probably try to engage and join these meetings if that's all right with you all as well.
Could you give us some examples of recent projects that you've done in towns that are about the same size as Polk City as we embark on this journey of improving our parks and expanding the services we're offering to our community? One of the things that we've discussed several times is taking an advantage to go visit other communities about Polk City size with similar populations to see what they've done with their landscaping, with their parks, with kind of their recreational integration of what they're doing. And I know the community visioning group has done quite a bit of that, but we as a parks board have not. And so I'm just kind of wondering, you said you work with a lot of municipalities that are about our size. I was just curious if you could give some examples.
Yeah, absolutely. So I would say as of late, the most exciting and probably most similar sized community that we've worked with, while it's not geographically nearby, Decorah. I don't know if you've ever been to Decorah. We have been working with them for the last 2 years and are loving it, and they keep coming back to us. So I don't know, Jason, if you know Andy Nimrod, he's the Parks and Rec director up in Decorah. I think you did speak with him on the Regional Park Master Plan proposal. But do I have the ability to share my screen real quick? I'd love to just take like 3 minutes and show you this project that we've been doing. Let's see here. I'll just grab this here. Share that. Yes, sir. Oh, I had my screen dimmer on. Forgive me. Okay. So this project here is, it's called the Carlson Park Master Plan. Not only have we done some smaller scale projects in Decorah, like a smaller plaza that bookends their main street, they've asked us to really entertain this. It's a 110-acre parcel that looks at all aspects of recreation and programming from skiing and pump tracks and camping and all of these types of facilities in one park, even sports fields. Now, what I see as a similarity from Decorah to Polk City is that recreation, that all seasons recreation. And while you guys are more kind of urbanized with, you know, your metro vicinity kind of location, I think you have a lot of similarities with the amount of recreation, green space, trails. And so Decorah is a great community, a little bit larger, but a great community that has a lot of similarities to Polk City. So that being said, this project was really robust in that we had some very similar meetings that could be related to community visioning. So what I could show here is the kind of the document we're preparing. Looks like there's a bunch of markups on it because we're still fleshing out this process with the city. But I think what's really exciting is the ability that we had to engage with the community through the COVID pandemic with safe distancing and things like that. And so we're very adaptable and resilient to those changes. Just loading here. Of course, we have the ability to do all the inventory and analysis that's pretty typical of landscape architecture. Trying to find the page. Kind of caught me off guard with that question, but I'm really excited to show you guys the work we've been doing. So we did an online survey that got a lot of feedback. We did an on-site. We had people bike in and fill out these flyers and got a lot of feedback. We even did this kind of socially just everyone had their own packet of little programming elements like a ropes course and an archery station that they could move around on a large map and see how the scale of some of these programming elements fit amongst each other and on the site with topography. So that was really exciting for them to kind of engage, and then really all that feedback we're starting to compile and share it back with the community, and that's really driving the design thus far. Some of the other communities, I guess, that I don't have readily available, but we're working in Urbandale right now on a community open space that's just south of Grimes, and we're doing a lot of nature play type of amenities and aspects that look at topography differently and using the land as art. So that's another aspect, I think, that is really unique, learning from community visioning, that Polk City has this kind of all seasons approach, and how does kind of the community beautification and art, we talked about murals and kind of the natural elements of planting design and topography. How does that shape and define a sense of place and kind of that identity throughout the park system? So that was something that was brought up, and we couldn't just dig in deep through the visioning process, that I think there could be a big story to tell with Polk City's park system. So yeah, I hope that kind of answers your question.
Thanks.
Yep. Thanks a lot, Eric.
Yeah, thank you.
I would just add, I don't want to take up too much time, but I want to thank and recognize Eric. So Jeff Jensen kind of led the process throughout, but Eric really led the work. And so all the visuals and a lot of the ideas came from Eric and his team, and up to and including, I was kind of thinking back holistically on the process. We were a little slow to adopt community visioning, and Eric came out a year and a half ago, or whatever it was now, and did some extra. So I can't say enough good things about the work that Eric and his team did, and really thank him, and I'm excited that to the extent you're willing to stick with us, I think that'd be a great opportunity. So I just really appreciate the work that you did, Eric, and want to make sure that we can now take it and make it as real as possible where it fits. So I really appreciate everything.
Thanks from all of us too, Eric. I really like the comparison to Decorah. I would love for us to be considered a recreational destination in the same way that Decorah is. So next item on the agenda is consider a recommendation to council to approve the rental facility and program refund policy. Do you want to walk us through that, Jason?
Yeah, sure will. So yeah, tonight for your guys' consideration would be a recommendation to council on adopting the refund policies that I had included as a PDF on tonight's meeting invite. So essentially it is pretty much best practice in the parks and rec industry to have some sort of refund policy in place. Inevitably weather happens, things happen that would affect, program registrations and also rental facilities. And as I continue to hopefully get more programming going, if we could ever kick the COVID, we're going to want something in place for that. And as we open up our open air shelters for rentals at the beginning of 2021, and hopefully a concentrated effort on getting our rental facilities more bookings, I want something in there, and I want it to be kind of consistent across the board. Right now it's kind of all over the place, almost shotgun scatter. So I'd like it to kind of be the same template each way. And I can briefly touch base on each of these. I don't want to bore you. I assume most of you read through it. But for programming, we're looking for people, if they want to be eligible for a refund, they must cancel at least 7 days in advance of the program. They would incur a $10 admin fee, and then the refund will be issued as a future program credit or check. If you fail to give 7 days notice, there will be a non-refund. And then with the open air shelter, we're looking at least 14 days advance to be notified of your cancellation. That also comes with a $10 admin fee. Important note here, refunds will not be issued due to weather, so rain, temperature, wind. That kind of comes with the renting of an open air shelter. It's kind of, to me, it's common sense, but I think having it in there will avoid future conversations and conflict. And then the last one, the rental facility refund policy. Again, 14 days advance. Your refund would be the rental fee minus 50%. Your damage deposit will be refunded, and then refunds will be issued as a credit or check. Anything within 14 days notice is a non-refund of your rental fee, although your damage deposit will be refunded in that situation. Like I said, this is kind of best practice. I know that, life happens, and, there is a caveat in there where with programming, if it's a medical reason, we'll obviously make a judgment call there, but you'd be able to get a full refund if it is a medical situation. Essentially, this is in place just to kind of safeguard us. If we're allowing people to cancel a few days in advance, that's potentially taking somebody's spot that had we had more time, we could fill. So yeah, this hopefully gives people enough incentive to cancel far enough out where we still have the opportunity to fill it, but also takes into effect the staff time that was taken by registration and the cancellation thereof. So with that, I'll open it up to any questions you guys may have.
I do have a question, Jason. How many open air shelters do we have?
Right now we have 2, Steve. We have the one at Kiwanis Park and the one at 12 Oaks. And hopefully, look down the road 5 years, we've got a couple more to play with.
And then do we just have the one rental facility at Miller Park?
We have Miller Park Shelter House and also the community center down by the fire station.
Is the 14-day window pretty standard?
Yes, a lot of folks will do 2 weeks or a month. I was hoping 2 weeks would give a little more flexibility to the renters, a little bit more customer service friendly. 2 weeks instead of a month. I know some things can happen, as you approach an event. So yeah, I mean that is pretty industry standard wide, a very recognized duration of time. As is the $10 admin fee. A lot of folks will do 5, 10. I've seen 20 as well. I kind of went with 10, just based on probably the first programming that we will be able to offer, the pricing of that, where $10 is, it's not a majority of the cost. So we're not looking at like an obscene, like, $10 to cancel a $15 class, something like that. So yeah, that fell in line a little bit better with the pricing of our initial programming.
And
If
where
there's
will
no other, oh, go ahead, Steve.
where will people find this document?
Sure. So these refund policies will exist on the back of our program registration. It'll also appear on our facility rental agreement form as well. So that would have to be a section of a registration that folks would or should read before they sign the dotted line.
Jason, 2 things. I think this is really reasonable, first of all. And second of all, I'm just wondering if there can be some sort of automated pushed out message 2 weeks prior to their event that just says, just a reminder, this is the date of no return. I know Ankeny does that when you rent one of their spaces. You have to include an email, and I think it's 16 days prior to your rental or whatever, it sends you a push notification that just says, you know, in 24 hours or whatever, your rental cannot be refunded or whatever it says.
No, that's a good idea, Ashley. That's just another level of perceived customer service that they could see as well. So yeah, I like that idea.
All right. If there's no other questions or comments, could I get a motion to recommend to council to approve the rental facility and program refund policy as included in our packet?
Motion to recommend council as shared.
Second.
Thanks, Steve. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, thank you. Thanks, Jason. Jason, you're probably up again next for an update on the regional park master plan.
Yes, so golly, it's been almost a month ago, short of a month, but we did our interviews for awarding the regional park master plan. The committee was comprised of 3 city staff, 2 elected officials, and a Parks Commission chair. So yes, it was a good afternoon. Overall, in the process, we had 4 outstanding proposals sent our way. I don't think we could have went wrong with any of the 4. Ultimately, the committee chose to award the contract to Confluence out of Des Moines. And so what that means going forward, I'm kind of working with them when it comes to surveying the land that we acquired, but as it pertains to you guys here. So what Confluence got was the right to do our master plan. So now it's up to them to research the land and research the wants of the community. So in the next, it might even be our January Parks meeting, perhaps February once they get something scheduled. But they will meet with this commission and get your input on what this regional park should or could look like. So your voices will be heard in that avenue. Other groups that will be interviewed as part of that process would be Little League, North Polk United Soccer, city leadership, and also I want them to have a nice interview with our Public Works Department. I think that will really behoove us that the ladies and gentlemen that will be taking care of the park have a little bit of say as to how it's constructed as well. But yeah, no, I mean, we're excited to move forward with that. The process should be just about 6 months. And then at the conclusion of the master plan, we'll have some nice pretty posters and, you know, just a well thought out process of how we phase in this 57-acre park, grant opportunities that they'll make sure that we don't miss. And yeah, just a very fiscally responsible way of developing hopefully our flagship park. Are there any questions on that?
Did the commission get a chance to look at Confluence's proposal as it was submitted?
Yeah, I think we can do that. So up until this point, the proposals were kept just for the committee. But yeah, now that I think that we've awarded it, I've got an electronic copy that I'd be happy to share yeah, with the commission here. So I will get that sent out either tonight or first thing tomorrow. Thanks, Nick.
Jason, what other projects has Confluence done that are similar to what we're looking at?
Sure. The big one that really spoke home is Hickory Glen in Pleasant Hill. It's of similar size. It had similar vested parties, including a Little League club soccer. It was adjacent to an elementary school. So it really ticked a lot, and how they're trying to do a nice mix of active and passive recreation, I think really spoke to the committee. And another one also where it's trying to find a healthy mix and maximize use of the land would be their Triumph Park that's taking place in Waukee. It's a little bit on a grander scale, but it's certainly featured a strong influence of the school that they're building with. So yeah, those two were very strong examples of confluence in what they're doing and what we feel like they're going to be capable of doing.
And where was Hickory Glen again?
Pleasant Hill.
I want to drive over and take a look at it.
They have their plan on the website. You can see all the renderings and some pictures.
Yeah, Steve, I should mention that they just completed the master plan of that. So don't drive over and look for a physical park.
I'll look it up on the website then.
Yeah, please look at their website.
I just put it in the chat.
Oh, awesome. Thanks, Ashley. So like I said, I'm going to aim to try to get the January Parks Commission to be that meeting that you will have with them. If not, it may be our February one. So just a heads up so you guys can have all your questions and stuff prepared for them.
That sounds great. Thanks, Jason. So next on the agenda is nominating for positions for the commission for next year, starting in January. So first, we'll take nominations for a chairperson for the year of 2021.
I'm gonna step in and say that my term ends this month, the 31st, and I'm not going to be continuing a second term. So I just wanted to put that out there and wanted to thank everybody, and it was really great to get to know a lot of you, and kind of a shame that we couldn't see each other this year.
Thanks for joining us.
Yeah. Thanks for having me.
Well, I'm sorry to see you go, Holly, but thank you very much for your contributions to this commission. And yeah, I'm glad I got to meet you in person once when you were planting flowers. But
yeah.
Quite a weird year. So, yeah. But no, thank you for all your work.
I do look forward to continuing to volunteer, and if the commission ever needs any advice on plants or landscaping, you can just contact me. So.
Well, I know Josh has been the chairperson. Amy's been the chairperson. Nick is new. So I will volunteer if that's okay.
Fine with me, but I don't feel like I'm in charge of that. But does that sound right?
I second that nomination.
Okay, that sounds great. Thanks, Ashley. So next, vice chair, any nominations?
I nominate Steve.
You're a nominating machine. All right, Steve, what do you think?
Oh, I'm okay with that. Sure. Happy to help.
Okay. All right, so that leaves secretary. Any nominations for secretary? Josh or Nick?
Josh is really good at sending emails.
So let's hang on. So just to understand this is a new position. We've not had this before. Does that mean city staff will no longer be taking notes and kind of organizing that, or what does this entail then?
It means that I, as a city clerk, won't be on to take the notes and the minutes. So Jason will still manage the agenda and getting it set out and organizing it. The secretary would be responsible for taking notes during the meeting and then submitting those notes to me for council.
Do you know, Jenny, I'm sorry, I was curious, is that often how cities will handle this and having a commission member take the notes, or do you have any idea about that?
That information came to me from Chelsea. So I think it varies widely depending on the cities and the commissions. So for instance, Planning and Zoning Commission, I don't know of any other city that has a secretary versus a staff person, but there are other parks commissions, my understanding, and other commissions that have the secretary.
And Josh, a lot of this came from reviewing our city ordinance. It's actually in there right now that Parks Commission shall elect a secretary. So I don't know.
I've got no issues with it. I just wanted to know what it entailed before anybody started nominating anything.
Yeah.
I was also just teasing. You don't have to do it if you don't want to. I just know that you send copious amounts of emails for Little League already.
You've got a good clicker finger is what she's saying, Josh.
No, she's saying I talk a lot. And I don't care.
Technically, you write a lot.
How detailed do these notes need to actually be?
Whoever decides to do the secretary, I can certainly share the template I use. The minutes are pretty simple. You have to capture whoever does the motion and the second. If anybody were ever to say that they were against the vote, you would have to capture then who said yes and no, or if it motion carried unanimously. The minutes probably take me 10 minutes to write. It's a very small time commitment piece. So don't worry, there's not like a certain thing you have to do. And there'll still always be city staff on the call, whether it's just Jason or Jason and I still may come depending on the topics, or Chelsea may come. So you'll always have city staff on your meetings with you.
I don't have a preference. I'm not going to nominate anybody. So if anybody has a nomination, then
I nominate Josh. He said he doesn't have a preference, and I feel bad that this is Nick's first meeting. I don't feel like I can nominate him on his first meeting.
Should we table this till his next meeting?
And
it's
Amy
fine.
I can handle it. It's not that big of a deal, especially if I can get access to the recording. It's not a problem at all.
Did you just say that you would do it, Nick?
No, I didn't say I wouldn't do it.
Oh, okay.
Ashley, no, that's fine. I can do it. It's fine. I got no problems with it.
Unless you can talk to city staff and then just keep doing it. But
It's all good.
I don't know. I don't know if there's any space for that.
Okay, so it sounds like Josh said that he would do it.
That's fine.
All right. Well, thanks, everyone. So moving on to reports. Rob, is there anything from the council tonight?
No, I guess there's nothing really pertinent. I mean, there is, but Jason covered it. But this, I guess first I welcome Nick, known Nick through Neighborhood and Citizens Group. I'm excited to have him added to this group and looking forward to that. But it is the last meeting of 2020, and so I just want to, and I think the plan is still that the liaisons will rotate, so you're not going to be, you'll be free of me here starting next month, so congratulations on that. But I just wanted to kind of say a few things about this past year and maybe even some stuff as going ahead. But I just so thankful for you guys. I appreciate everything that you've done, and you know, and obviously the board members and then, or the commission members, and then Jason as well, you know, for a Parks and Rec director that literally started in March, like right as this all came down. It wasn't, I think I gave a spiel in like January or February that none of which came to fruition, obviously. If you go back to February, it seems like a lifetime ago, and I don't want to fall in the trope of you know, insert 2020 meme here, but I do just really thank you guys, and individually, you know, from, you know, it's hard for me to recognize Josh without taking a shot at his Huskers, but I won't do that. But I think, you know, his great experience with Little League, Ashley brings some academic references that I think add a lot of value. Amy, I know, has done a great job facilitating these meetings. It's not always the funnest thing to do to go through that, but I think you've done a really good job. Steve obviously has been double dipping with community visioning and done a lot of work. Holly's willingness to roll up her sleeves and get involved, and really sad to see her go, but I understand too, you know, she's done all that work while having a baby and everything, so it stinks that we're losing you, but I understand that. Kelly, it has, I think, a touch in every organization between her and Kirk, so I appreciate her perspective. And then, you know, Stephanie, until she resigned here a couple of months ago, had Parks and Rec direct experience, and so I think this is a great group, and I wish I could have been liaison either longer or in a different year where we could have met face to face and we could have, you know, done some stuff directly with the parks. But I do think we're well positioned. You know, if you look at Jason's leadership in just, you know, last Friday night, where I think a lot of people would have taken what I think most people consider, you know, it's a little bit different than the festival, but I hear from a lot of people that the square lighting is their favorite thing, and it would have been a really easy out to not do it. But to even think that something like that could have happened and been successful as it was, I literally, I mean, in my position, I rarely get unanimously positive feedback, but that's what Friday was. And so again, just I think this, as he said a number of times, making lemonade out of lemons is, you know, month after month with 2020 and COVID. So I guess, again, just want to be really appreciative of all the time that you guys spent, the thought that you bring to this, the expertise and your willingness to volunteer. I can't thank you enough. I do think we're working on something that'll be more formally recognition-wise here going ahead too, that we've done in the past for somebody that have been around for a while. So hopefully we can do that. And then the only thing that I would ask, you know, feel free to push, you know, next year, as Jason alluded to earlier, with the programs coming on and hopefully moving past this phase that we're in now to with the Parks Master Plan, with the added programming, with the resumption to somewhat of normalcy, we just really look for your guys to push us and hey, you know, you're not doing enough here, or why aren't we doing this? Love having those conversations. So again, just want to say thank you, and I'll miss coming to these meetings. I'll definitely be watching, enjoy that. But again, thanks for everything that you guys have done.
Thanks, Rob.
Thank you, Rob.
That was nice.
Yeah,
And
thanks a lot, Rob.
Yeah.
Well, I was just going to share that some of us have been through a few different council liaisons, and I know that I've always been appreciative of, I think when you come, you feel really connected and excited to be here, and really interested in knowing how people are feeling and thinking and what the issues are in a way that's really meaningful, and that I think all of us probably can see. So thank you for doing that. We really, really appreciate it.
Thanks.
Thanks,
all right.
Rob.
Is there, sorry, cutting off all your praise. Is there anything else from the commission tonight? All right. How about staff? Oh, Steve, I need to, sorry.
Well, are you going to go around and ask for any comment from the members before we're done, or do you want that now? Okay,
Right
I just wanted to remind the Parks Commission that the Community Visioning Group is having its implementation planning meeting on Thursday, December 17th at 7 p.m. And that'll be, both in person and probably remote as well. And that's a really important meeting for us because we look at going forward from where we are. And what that means is, could some of the stuff that community visioning has talked about fall under the purview of the Parks Commission? Could it go to another group? How do we proceed going forward with these 8 or so major projects that we've spent a year working on? So I wanted to let you all know that, and just a shout out to Nick. That Nick, if you want to learn more about community visioning, there's a link on the Community Visioning Facebook page, I guess to all council members, where you can go to see an electronic version of the booklet, and Rob's holding up a paper copy there.
Steve,
I went
what
ahead
was
and
the date and
I've
time?
read through that. So
Good.
Sorry, Nick. Steve, what was the date and time?
December 17 at 7 p.m.
And it's at Luana in person, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, and that's open if people want to come. I can't remember if you said that, Steve, but just I mean, obviously the committee will be there. Eric will be there, but if anybody else that wants to come is welcome additionally.
Thanks, Steve. Anything else from the commission? All right. Any other reports from staff tonight?
Yeah, Amy, I've got a few things and I'll try to go through it pretty quick. A little bit from Public Works. They have finished up their winter prep out at the sports complex. They've aerated the fields, they've overseeded, and then they've winterized the concession stand and all of and the irrigation that exists out there. So that's been put to bed for the winter. Collectively, we're almost finished with all of our derecho damage replacement. So we've replaced bleachers at the sports complex, the bike service station on the square, and then the 3 park signs that met their demise in the derecho. So we're just waiting on a few bike racks, and then at least all of that will be back to normal. And then, of course, I want to give them a shout out too for prepping Town Square for Light Up Polk City. So that was my first one. And mind you, I was busy with the parade, but I did get to see the lights come on at 6 o'clock. And yeah, that's pretty special. I see why Polk City loves that. So no, that was really neat. And I know there's a lot of man hours that go into wrapping trees and running power. So thanks to them. A little bit from Ken Morse, the tree dude. I've been working with him very closely with like our Trees Please grant that we do every year through Mid-American, just learning more about that process that he has headed for years. And then also the continued certification of Polk City's Tree City USA. That's something that I'll work with him on going forward. I think Polk City's gotten it about 27 years in a row.
Yeah.
Thanks, in no short part to Ken's doing. So it's quite the torch that's being passed to me, and I I know there will be hell to pay if I were to drop it. So don't worry, I won't. All right. Yeah, just I'm going to give my perspective on the Light Up Polk City that took place last Friday. Yeah, I'm thrilled with how it worked out, and yeah, most of the feedback that I've gotten as well has been uber positive. But you know, that was a really good template of special events going forward. I worked with Bridget with Go Polk City very closely on that. And I'll be the first to admit she did more than 50% of the work. But kind of going forward, she handles the Chamber of Commerce side. You know, most of those floats were local business that contacted her. She worked with K&M Productions that did the live stream of it. So obviously her talents right there, you see them. Whereas on my side, I worked closely with the city. You know, we did the parade route, worked with the police, the fire department. I sweet talked to Jenny into driving a convertible around with Anna and Elsa. So yeah, it takes a village, and that certainly was fun. And then the last thing I'll say, a high note today, I was contacted from the Kiwanis Club of Polk City. I met with them a few months ago, talking about their involvement with our parks. And they are wanting to donate $3,000 for new picnic tables at Kiwanis Park. So very excited about that. So yeah, we'll be doing that the first part of 2021. And then those tables will be ready to rock when folks are wanting to get outside in mid to late spring, early summer. So yeah, no, I certainly appreciate their continued support of parks here in Polk City. And that's definitely a special relationship. So I'll make sure to continue to cultivate that and be a good partner for them as well. And then Holly, again, sorry to see you go. Rob, thank you so much for being our liaison in my short tenure thus far. And yeah, I'm sure you won't stay too far away. You're a Parks dude. I can see it. But no, I guess other than that, I hope everybody had a happy Thanksgiving and happy holidays upcoming.
Thanks, Jason. The parade was really cool. We really enjoyed that, and my son really liked it too, even though he's 10 months.
I did hear someone say that they thought it would be super cool if the parade went through neighborhoods as a way to invite people to the square lighting. And then people would head to the square and have the square lighting a little later at like 7:30 in future years. So, or have the parade come through around 5:30 and then have that be the invitation for people to head down towards the square. I don't know how anybody feels about that. That was just a suggestion that I got from 3 different people. So
As long as there's still mac and cheese and cups and cookies, that's fine with me. But I really missed my clam chowder in a cup this year, so.
And Jenny, did you have anything else tonight?
No, ma'am.
All right. Well, I think that's it then. Could I have a motion to adjourn until January 4th?
I move that we adjourn Amy's last meeting.
Yeah, a second.
I second that. My
Thanks,
last
Holly.
second.
Yeah, we will miss you a lot, Holly.
Yeah. Well, I'll see you guys around, so.
All in favor? All right. No opposed? All right. Thanks, everyone. Have a really good holiday.
Be safe, everybody.
Thank you. Merry Christmas. Bye-bye.